Good afternoon, traders. It is Thursday, November 15th, 2018, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Well, when I look at the figures, we actually had about the best day we've had in at least 2 months. And yet, at some point, particularly earlier this morning, I thought it was almost the worst day. And I can explain that a little more later. Let's first look at the Dow. Again, I'm showing you the long range chart with showing what I have predicted as the low of the correction, but that low was at least threatened by the 6-day slide, but it popped back today. Dow actually gained 209 points. I would kind of expect that, but what it does after today is going to be pretty critical. You know, if it keeps moving upwards, you know, I would say we'll come out of this fine, eventually take out this high up here. But if it breaks out of this formation here and starts headed on back down, good chance it's going to take out that low, and that's going to look pretty bad for the overall market. But at this point, I don't want to make any predictions. I'll tell you, this overall market and all these stocks are very volatile and very difficult to predict. Okay, what are the statistics today? They look very good on the surface. We closed out nearly $25,000 in closed out trades today, and we picked up 7 new positions, 5 positive, 2 negative, and we are carrying over $10,000 in positive open trade equity going into tomorrow. So do the math. We're looking at about $35,000 when you add them together. And if we could string maybe 2 more days like that before now and the end of the month, we'd definitely be looking much better than we have been in the last 6 weeks. But we just got to see. I'll show you the real heartbreaker today, though. And I honest to God, I was almost ready to throw in the towel this morning. I was so upset about this. I'm showing you GAZ, which is the natural gas bull, and I've been showing you this chart the last 2-3 days. We had re-entered that 3 days ago toward the end of the day, right there. Then we had another up day that kept us into the trade. Then a huge up day yesterday that took us all the way to something like $43,000 on that single trade. Well, you can see here what happened. It did a huge gap down this morning. We actually, our exit this morning was about as good as we could have possibly gotten, and we got out of that with almost $16,000. But man, to watch your profits go from $43,000 up here to $16,000 is kind of takes your breath away. And but just look at this chart for you guys today. If you want to look at the true range for today, which you would take the close here from yesterday and subtract the low for today, that true range is like $160. If you can believe that. I mean, that's just I I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I don't think I've seen anything like this before. I suppose I may have, but no. I mean, this is just massive when you stop to think the amount of money that is won or lost, depending on what side of the the market you're on. It's just unbelievable, and so I guess we shouldn't complain about a $16,000 trade. It's just I didn't want a $16,000 trade. I wanted a $50,000 trade, and that's what I thought we were going to get yesterday on the close. It didn't happen, so that was pretty discouraging. However, we did have some help today with this stock. We had bought this yesterday. This is High Crush Partners LP. We bought this yesterday, had nice profits on the close, but it really popped up here this morning very nicely for our exit. And we took almost $10,000 out of this stock. So that kind of helped a little with that horrible loss in UGAZ. And so with, our UGAZ trade, which was almost $16,000, and this trade, that's basically where we put together closeout trade of almost $25,000. It was those two stocks. And then finally today we had a good day on our entries, and this was our best trade. And this is NBEV, which is New Age Beverage Corporation. And that popped up this morning. We grabbed the pop, and it kept going nicely. It actually did pull back some. But even with that pullback, we have almost $6,000 in open trade equity in New Age Beverage Corporation. So a wild and extremely volatile day. We have emerged with totals of close to $35,000. So I'll hang on. God knows what's going to happen tomorrow on Friday. We'll have to see. I'll be there. This is Trader Bob signing off.